This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Flagstaff Super Lite fifth wheel, and the model number is a 528 RKS. So this is not a floor plan or a sales video. This is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So starting here at the door side rear, you can see you got power stabilizer jacks right here, okay? So to operate them, here's your switch right here. This switch controls both rear jacks, okay? You don't lift the trailer with it, you're just going to take the movement out of it, okay? This is your water heater on the outside here. Thing to know is that there's a rocker switch right here, on and off. That controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover. So I just want to let you know that that's there. There's also a switch inside for it, but you have two switches. Now never run this without water in the water heater tank. Otherwise you'll burn the element out real quick. So make sure there's always water in it. And this is your gas valve, so you can run it on gas too. The gas heats it up much quicker. A lot of people will, it's not on demand, but it's quick recovery. So a lot of people will just run it on electric to keep it nice and warm or hot. But then when they're going to use the shower, they kick on the burner also, okay? Now, this rail, your griddle is going to hang on. Down here, if we can see it, this is a quick connect for your LP system. So, I'll show you the griddle down here. It's stored right here. So this is your griddle. This is the rack that it hangs on, right? And this is the quick connect LP hose. So this quick connect end goes on the back of the griddle, and then this male end plugs into that quick connect that I just showed you underneath the trailer there. So you have to plug it in to get gas, and it's done right here, okay? So going a little further, this is a TV signal out, power, and a bracket. The other half of the bracket is inside the trailer. If you want to hang a TV out here, I'll show you that when we get to it. This is just a quick connect. For a sprayer, you get a coiled sprayer with this. There's also a port on the other side. When you look up, this is your range hood vent right here. So keep in mind there's a baffle in there. If you can see there's a little latch on each side. So you reach up and you pop those latches so the baffle inside flaps freely. Anytime you're going to vent to the outside, you want that baffle flapping freely. Otherwise, when you're traveling or in stores, you can just snap it shut. But you have to open it up to vent, okay? Now you have speakers and also a power awning with LED strip. This is storage. Now this here, if you were to see through this hole all the way up to the frame, which you can't get a good picture right here, but trust me when I say there's a shaft sticking out of the frame with a pin through it. Now if you need to crank your main slide room, you can crank it right there using this particular crank, the top one. If you can see, it has a cylinder with a slot cut in it that fits right over the shaft with a pin. And you can crank, in an emergency, you can crank that slide out or in. It takes a lot of cranking, but it does work. So keep that in mind. Now when it comes to the bedroom slide, that's called a Schwintek slide. That's different. You can do it, but you'll have to read up on it. You have to either read your paperwork or better yet, go to the Schwintek manufacturer's video that tells you how to do it. But you can technically do it, okay? Alright, so moving on a little bit here. You have two 30-pound LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. Of course, you have storage in the front here, plus your battery is in here. Right here you have your docking lights. These are just vents. This is how you extend and retract your landing gear right here. These are your landing gear legs. And then this is just a hookup for a solar panel. If you wanted to purchase a solar battery charger to charge your battery, well, it would plug right in there. Okay. Your other battery is here. This is the bird that's upset with me because he thinks I'm going to mess with his eggs, or she thinks I'm going to mess with her eggs. Look at that. Attacked by a little bird. Okay. So, this is your water filter canister. So this comes with a filter and a wrench, a white wrench that goes over it. The idea is if you want to use this carbon black filter, it only lasts for one season. So before you winterize it in the fall, early summer, you'll just take it, throw the filter out. Then after you de-winterize it in the spring, you'd put a new one in and use it for the season, okay? All right, so this is your power inverter right here. Inversion is inverting 12 volt DC to 120 AC, okay? Regular household current. So what it does is it takes the 12 volt DC from your battery, it sends it to this unit here. This unit inverts it to AC power, 120 AC, and then it sends it to a few of the receptacles up front. The receptacles that are inverted will be labeled, so keep that in mind. It's just a way to get AC power from your battery, okay? This is your water dock here. The thing to know right now, if you look at the configuration of these valves, it's set up for city water. You can change it to dry camping. You can power fill your tank, your fresh water tank. If you're you have to camp someplace where there's not city water, you can pre-fill your tank and then switch it to this camping mode to pump it. Turn on your water pump right there. There's also a switch inside, and you also can winterize here, sanitize. You just put the valves in the configuration that's on the proper diagram. Okay, your water hook's right up here. Now you can also fill the freshwater tank from here if you want to. There's two ways to fill it, so keep that in mind. This right here is a black tank flush. Like it says on this sticker, always make sure the black tank valve is open before you turn on the water, because it'll build up too much pressure if it's not. But if you have a working hose at the dump station, it's a great thing to do because it'll spray out your black tank. Plus it'll clean the sensors off so you get a really accurate reading, okay? These are your black and gray valves here. Okay, Bird. There's two gray tanks, so here's the other one here, the valve for it. So you got one black and two gray tanks. 50 amp service, and we give you the reducers to reduce it down. If you look up, you'll see that there's a housing for a backup camera, so this is pre-wired to put a backup camera on there if you want one. Also, the ladder is attached, which is great because it allows you to inspect your roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. So keep in mind that you or someone needs to go up there, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get in. Make sure the roofing material and the roofing attachments are not damaged by low branches or road debris flying up there or something like that. So if you inspect it, you just stay ahead of it. So that's the idea, just keep ahead of potential problems. Okay, if you see some issue, take care of it immediately. Okay. Alright, so this is your control panel here. You have light switches here. There's an electric water heater switch just like on the outside, so you have two of them. This one is to light the water heater on gas. You can see there's the fault light there, just so you know. Your water pump is here. You use that water pump to pump water out of the fresh water tank. You also use it to winterize the trailer. Okay. You have tank heaters on your holding tank, so you can turn that on, and there's heating pads on it that will warm up the tank so they don't freeze. So you can extend your camping season. You can stay out longer in the late fall, early winter, and go out earlier in the early winter. You go and stay out. Go out earlier in the. You go out earlier in the late winter or early spring. There you go. It just extends your camping season. All right, and then you have your levels. You can check all your levels from here. As you can see, it goes up in 1/3 increments. Okay, these are both slide out buttons here. That's your front slide out. That is your bedroom slide out there, which we haven't put out yet. Well, I'll do that right now. So you can see it's right there. So it's a Schwintek. It's different than the other one. There you have it. This is your power awning here, so you can extend it this way. Here, let me look out here. I think you can see that. Okay, so you never leave that out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, make sure you roll it in. Okay, And last but not least, you have the Wi-Fi Ranger. That's what this is here. So it's turned on right now. What it is a public Wi-Fi signal booster. So you get your and your family's devices together, phones and tablets, whatever you have, and you'll go to into the Wi-Fi section, and you'll look and you'll see this here, Tenton 4557. That's you. So you would put a password in, so your phones and tablets hook up automatically when they're searching for Wi-Fi. The line at the bottom that says, excuse me, control panel. There's an address there, so you would open a browser, type that in the address. It'll take you to the page for this Wi-Fi Ranger. You'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. You have to punch in a password, this is a temporary password. Change me now 4557. Of course, you'll have to make up your own password for that one. So basically, when you go to this address, you'll see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So you would pick out the campground public Wi-Fi, and if they give you a passcode when you check in, for example, you can type in that passcode and you're all set. It's a really super good signal booster. It's up on the roof, and it will definitely take public Wi-Fi and make it much, much better than it is normally. So it's a good thing to use. The thing is, also there is another function that's a cellular function, but you'd have to pay another service to whoever you get your cellular from, that sort of thing. But people generally just use the free public Wi-Fi feature. So you can scan this code here, and it'll take you to their information. If you want to get the app for this control panel, it'll show you how to get it here. Okay. If we go up a little higher, this is the solar controller. So B button is the one you worry about. Right now it's saying there's 13.7 volts in the battery, which is excellent. If you punch it again, right now we're gaining 2.2 amps from the sun. So you see the sun with the arrow pointing to a solar panel. If your battery is totally topped off, it'll can drop down to 0.0. It's not that it's not creating electricity, but there's no place to store it. So right now we're at 2.2. You push it again, 100% charged, and these are your amp hours here. So it tells you how many amp hours. I'll go back to the 13.7. Okay, so that's how you tell what your solar panel's doing and what you're gaining. It also has, like if you wanted to charge a cell phone in an emergency, you can do it right there. There are other features. You can learn about them in the literature that comes with the trailer. Plus, you can always go to the manufacturer's website and look at manufacturer's videos. This also has Bluetooth, so you can get an app for it. All right. So as I come in here, boy, I got a dose of pollen just a minute ago. I inhaled it, so I'm getting kind of froggy here. So this is a conservation device here. It's called a shower miser. So you can see you got the two different positions. What you do, or what it does, is recirculates the water around in a loop. Normally when you're heating up your water, it'll just dump it down the drain till it gets hot, right? So by doing that, you're wasting storage space in your gray tank, and also you're wasting valuable water if you're someplace where there's a drought. So this just circulates it around in a loop from the water heater to this and back around and around. When this starts to change color and turns kind of a beigeish color, it's telling you that the water's hot, so that you can flip it into the normal position and just use it, right? So again, if you want to learn more about it, you can always go to the manufacturer's videos right there, okay? So that's the shower miser, and it's a water recirculator. The toilet works like every other toilet. You have to have a gallon of water at least in it, in the tank, along with chemical before you use it, otherwise the smell will be overwhelming, so you always have water and chemical in it. Okay? This is just a remote for your vent. Now the great thing about these vents is 4-speed, so you can, let's say you've got a bunch of people over in the evening, and it's the time of year where you're going to get condensation from your breath. Well, you can turn that fan on low, and it'll pull all the condensation out of the trailer. You'll never have an issue with it collecting on your walls or ceiling or anything like that. So it's a really good thing. All right. You have two air conditioners in this one, obviously. I think this is zone 2. Each zone has its own sensor here, so we can tell what's happening. So that's what this is. And this, believe me, this room, you can get it cold, downright cold. There's storage underneath the bed, so if you flip it up, there's storage there. Okay, come back this way. This is the thermostat. Basically, you pick the zone and the system and the mode, and you can just go through. Your options are fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. Then you have cool, which is actual air conditioning. If it gives you an option for the fan speed, always choose auto. It's the best way to go. And of course, you go to heat. It's the LP furnace will kick on. Okay. All right. So here, this is a hide-a-bed. You can pull the cushions off. It folds out and do a 3-panel bed. It's real nice. Then you have theater seats here, and they have, you know, powered footrest and that sort of thing. Your TV and your sound and your fireplace. The fireplace runs on 110 AC, and it's very simple. And you can change the appearance of the fire like so. There's a timer on it. You can set the thermostat. You can do a lot of different things with it. When it comes to your sound here, you can play CDs and DVDs through there, of course. You can stream off USB. All right. You can use the FM, AM, FM radio. So there are a lot of options, okay? It has all the usual features. There's 3 speaker zones, A, B, and C. A is this room, B is the bedroom, and C, I believe, is outside. So you can turn those on and off. So there's a lot you can do with it. Of course, it's all wired through your TV set here, which has this little storage behind it. Keep in mind that this green light here, that's the digital signal booster for the antenna. There's a little button next to it. You could shut it off if you wanted to, but you won't get a good picture using the antenna. So you always want that to be green. If it's not, you won't get a good picture. So make sure you keep it turned on when you're using the antenna. All right. So what else do we have here? Okay, so over here we have your, first of all, your power converter. I showed you the inverter, which goes from DC to AC. Well, this is a converter which goes from AC to DC. So you have regular 120 AC right here. You have circuit breakers like you would see at home, and they're all labeled. So this is the distribution center here too, just like your box at home. But then on this side, the 120 AC is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you have 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. And also keep in mind that this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery needs up front, and it'll always keep it charged up. If any of these fuses blow, they'll actually glow, and you can see them through this plastic here. But like I said, it converts AC to DC power, plus it charges your battery when you're plugged in. Now this device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. So it'll go off if it detects carbon monoxide or LP gas. It should always be green like it is. If not, get it serviced. And if it beats the same tone but very slowly, it's telling you your battery is low. So let's just listen to it here. Carbon monoxide is good. LP coming up. LP is good. Now here comes your low battery alert. So that's just the test mode. That's what it sounds like. And it's back to green. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced, please. It's important. Okay. I don't know if he's got the gas on, so I might have to just talk you through this, but we'll see. Always keep this cover closed when you're traveling, or it will break. But if you keep it closed, it's fine. You have a sparker right here. You just turn this clockwise to spark it. You got 3 knobs here for 3 burners, and then the oven knob. So let me see if he's got gas turned on. Yeah, he does. So it's that simple. Turn it clockwise, it sparks. Now, when it comes to the oven, there's a pilot light way back there on the bottom at the back. I can spark it so you can see it, or see the reflection of it anyway. So what you do is you just go to the oven knob, you go to the picture of the flame, and then you depress it. Keep it depressed during the whole lighting procedure. You spark it by turning this clockwise till it lights down here, After it lights, you hold it for another 10 seconds and then go to operating temperature. It works like an oven does, of course, cycles. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. The dinette table. Now the dinette table, you don't want to travel with it in the up position because it can bounce around and break something. So you have these cleats here, 4 cleats, and if you push this button to the right, it's a latch, and you can then push it at the hinges, and this will drop down right onto here, and there's Velcro holding it in place. So it'll drop onto those cleats. You can turn it into a bed if you need another bed. Also, it won't bounce around and break something, so that's good. Alright, so let me look a little further here. Here's some of your stuff. There's the filter I told you about. There's the wrench. There's the other half of the TV bracket. So you have that stuff. Okay. So I think that pretty much does it. So, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said. The manufacturer wants you to inspect the roof every 90 days. That's important. And right now this trailer is de-winterized. It's in summer camping mode. So the antifreeze has been purged from the system. And it's ready to be camped in. So there's your keys there. So, okay. Thank you very much.